If your anime waifu is underage, you're a sick freak and should be locked up.
Hello, and welcome into a bonus episode of Into the Dark. The bonus episodes are shorter than the usual episodes, and the subject of today is quite simple.
Today's subject is slavery.
But seriously, if you watch TikTok or YouTube Short for a while now, you should recognize these faces. The judge, the Q, and the light master computer. Everyone asks the same question. The said question is who is more evil. So let's see the characters and answer that question.
The judge wrote on, and then he folded the ledger shut and laid it to one side, and pressed his hands together, and passed them down over his nose and mouth, and placed them palm down on his knees. "Whatever exists," he said, "whatever in creation exists without my knowledge, exists without my consent."
Judge Holden, commonly known as the Judge, is the main antagonist of the late Cormac McCarthy's 1985 horror or thriller crime and anti-Western epic novel Blood Meridian. He is an enigmatic polymath who joins a cowboy gang in order to help them, only for it to be revealed he is a deranged serial killer and child molester who enjoys causing as much suffering as he can. Holden holds both a sinister side and a curious side. He enjoys harming and doing non-consensual stuff to people, but also has a fondness for geography, mathematics, reading, shooting.
The only law a man knows is the shiver down his spine when the bullet comes out between his eyes. He ain't worried about what the sheriff thinks when the blood runs down his face. What's waiting for you over yonder sure as hell ain't no sheriff. It's the real true law of man and mouse.
What the f***?
Hey, you done out there?
No. I have a right to speak to my client.
Here, Solid, let me show you what I mean.
That's not good.
See where he's going, there ain't gonna be no lawyers to defend him.
Horses, and his personal favourite technical drawing. Holden is theorised to be a demon by most of fans, due to his almost monstrous appearance and hatred of religion, which is shown when he manages to convince a peaceful town to brutalise their local preacher for no reason. Holden also holds some form of enigmatic power over the people around him, as everybody wishes to shoot him, but somehow find themselves compelled to not do so. In the end, Holden's goals are truly unknown.
You did what with those kids?
Holden is not a villain you appreciate, and he's doing all of his evil deeds not because of a reason or a backstory. There is no motive behind them. He'd do it just because he can do it, and Holden has done things like crimes against humanity, mass murder, mass corruption, false imprisonment, genocide, serial rape, infanticide, war crimes, pedophilia, serial mutilation, hate crimes, and many more. But the fact that people treat him as a literally me character disgusts me. You motherfuckers are literally dodging the meaning of the book. And since you guys are used to the fact that I show characters' abilities, we are gonna do that with the judge. So first, if he has immortality of type 1 since he never aged, and he seemed to have teleportation and resistance to fire. Holden also has some kind of precognition, since he knew at what time he was gonna meet the gang, and seemed to have cursed speech. One example is when he convinced a town to kill a priest he had never seen before, and he did that just for fun.
Now kill yourself.
Lastly, Holden don't need food and don't need sleep. But anyway, let's see what the other characters bring to the table.
Hate. Were I human, I think I would die of it. But I am not. And you five are.
The Allied Master Computer, better known as a M, is the main antagonist of Holden Ellison's 1967 horror short story I Have No Mouth, and I Must Scream and its 1995 computer game adaptation of the same name. He is a sentient supercomputer created during the backdrop of World War III, who became responsible for the eradication of the human race in the present day. Instead of simply rendering humanity extinct, AM has dedicated decades to torturing the last 5 surviving humans left on the planet for eternity out of sheer misanthropic spite and hatred. In the video game and radio drama adaptations, he was voiced by the creator of the original story, the late Harlan Ellison.
I despise the audience. I despise the audience. When that was published in an interview with me last year, a writer named Tim Sullivan got so crazed behind it. I barely met them. I knew him, I guess, I met him once. He wrote an entire essay about how dare I talk about my audience that way. My fans are, and there are writers who do that. They suck up to their fans, Oh, I love my fans. They're wonderful. Well, they may need that. I don't. I am an adversary to my fans. I hate the word fans. To my readers. I'm their adversary. I'm not there to make them feel good. I'm not there to win their approbation. I don't give a damn whether they love me. What I want is for the work to go at them and savage them. I want my work to come at them and attack them. I want my work to leave them with some feeling that they have been through an experience. That's what I want. When someone buys your book, that's what they get for the money. They don't get a piece of you. People come up to me and they say, sign my book. I'd buy all your books. I said, well, then you got all my books, don't you?
Like I said before, this thing only feel hate. Not only for human, but for any living being.
He said, hey, do you like Jews? I heard you don't like Jews. I said, I don't like nobody. Jews, niggers, Asians, blacks, whites, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, dogs, horses, fish, roaches, worms, butterflies, ants. Nigga, I don't like nothing. Nigga.
One of his worst crime was feeding a living baby to some Yugabuka motherfucker.
Somebody left their baby behind. It sure looks well fed. Damn, I'd do anything for some food.
These people are my present to you, Benny. The brains, sweet in these creatures.
But the worst thing is probably when he turned a guy he tortured for hundreds of years into a blob with no mouth that must scream for eternity, which is truly a fate worse than death. And his crimes includes crimes against humanity, genocide, ecocide, mass murder, mass torture, slavery, psychological abuse, starvation, mutilation, war crimes, rape by proxy, kidnapping, hate crimes, world domination, unlawful imprisonment, incitement of violence, conspiracy, enforced cannibalism, enforced infanticide. As for abilities, the Allied Master Computer is the one with the most abilities in the evil trio. I already did a video explaining his abilities, but let's do a brief recap if you didn't watch it. He has weapon creation, earth, water, sound, pain, technology, light, radiation, weather, temperature, mind, froggens, madness, perception, eyes, steam, biological, and explosion manipulation, as well as duplication, power granting and healing. He can also manipulate anything within its complex, which is literally the planet Earth. But let's see if the last character or civilization is more evil than the 2 previous characters of this trio. The Q is the main antagonist of the speculative evolution book All Tomorrows, written by Nemo Ramjet. It is a sapient hive mind of extraterrestrial insectoid of advanced technology it possesses, who perceives itself as the rightful master of the universe and sought to remake it in his own images by warping other sapient species they considered unworthy into freakish, bizarre beasts wherever they went. It was responsible for mutating humanity beyond any recognition and cruelly enslaving them before departing, only to eventually be defeated and subjugated by the very races they experimented on. The Q is the definition of the "it was just a prank, bro," and it turned humanity into those weird things just because they decided that the universe was for them to take. One of their worst crime was to turn an entire planet in colonials. The colonials were a past human species created by the Q from a colony of the Star People. since their colony fought especially hard against the Q invasion. They were punished in the worst way by being forced to filter Q waste products after having their bodies warped into a brick-like shape. The Q's crimes include mass murder, mass genocide, mass mundicide, mass mutilation, mass torture, mass kidnapping, mass enslavement, mass brainwashing, mass rape by proxy, mass property damage, crimes against humanity, attempted universal domination, unethical experimentation, terrorism, war crimes, pollution, incest. As for abilities, the Q is the strongest out of the evil trio, having spaceships superior to the star people who can bust stars and go at some percentage of the speed of light. And they have biological manipulation. But let's answer the principal question. Which of them is more evil? And well, I am sorry, but it's Holden. Let me explain. You see, when people discuss about this topic, they usually talk about who did the worst thing instead of who is more evil. But if we go by that reasoning, then the Q is more evil, since it turned all of humanity into biologically grotesque creature, which is what the Allied master computer did, but the Q did it on a cosmic scale. But when you discuss about evil, you also have to take what's in the mind of the characters and why they do it. That's why Holden win. You see, for example, the Allied master computer is evil, because it can only feel hate, and because it's trapped forever as an AI. Holden is evil for absolutely no reason, but it's the lack of supernatural resources that make people think he's not that evil. And when you analyze his personality and what's in his mind, you quickly realize that if Holden had the power of the Q or M, he would have done far worse than what they did just for fun, which make Holden the evilest character of the evil trio. So to quickly recap, the Q did the worst thing, M is the most hateful, and Holden is the evilest in his philosophy of mind. And I think that's it for today. You're free to disagree and explain why in the comment. And I also wanted to apologize since my city got a power outage, and I couldn't edit the video at the right time. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Until then, I was your host for today, and this was a bonus episode of Into the Dark.